Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to MaxSpeedTV. Tonight, the Lightning Cup Championship rolls into Homestead, Miami. It's the season finale here for the Lightning Cup Championship. Two men enter tonight with a chance to walk away with the championship. Tommy Gossett in the number 80, who has the quick time right now here on the practice charts. He has a 12-point lead right now over Victor Valley in that championship. It's going to come down to tonight whether who can outduel who. Tommy Gossett is going to either need to finish 7th or better if Victor Valley wins this one, or what Victor Valley really needs is to win this race and have Tommy Gossett finishing around the 10th or outside of the top 10. Tonight, we're going to find out who can outduel who, though. Or how about Alex Huffman coming in here on a couple of wins over the last couple of weeks here. I believe it's 3 out of the last 4 weeks. Alex Huffman has put down a show here for the Lightning Cup Championship. Looks like right now we have, I think it's 12 drivers registered here in the race. I believe I just saw 2 more actually join, so a couple of latecomers joining here, but Tommy Gossett does have the quick time here for Miami Homestead. Alex Huffman is 2nd. Looks like Mark Arthur is 3rd on the Speed Trucks. Victor Valley, though, does sit there in the 4th position, with Michael Whitaker in the 14 sitting 5th. Josh Patterson in that 999 machine, 6th on the speed charts. Mac Jackson a little bit farther down than he would like right now, sitting in the 7th position. Noah Samples has the 08 machine in 8th. Justin Winters is 9th in the 4 car. And it looks like William Martin sits there inside the top 10 in that 10th position. So what a race we're going to have here from Miami Homestead. These guys driving the Xfinity car here to see who can win. Where's the groove going to be? I heard a couple guys saying that they were up running the high line after about 10 laps, and the tires didn't fall off that much, about 0.2, maybe just around a half second, depending how long you were actually out there. So we're going to have to see just a little bit. See if that groove does work its way to the high side, or are we going to be a bottom to a middle groove track? I know where Alex Huffman wants to run out there. He wants to run the Kyle Larson line up against the top side of the track. Talked to him a little bit earlier tonight. Well, let's get to our pre-race. A couple facts here. Let's see what the air temp here in Miami. It's a cool 65 degrees. I wish it was a little bit, around that temp here in Pennsylvania. It's a little cool today. Track temp, though, here in Miami for the race. Right now in practice, it's sitting there right at 89. It was about 93 here when I checked in this evening. We're going to do 115 laps here. That equals out to 165 miles here from Homestead. Tire window tonight, you're looking at about 8 to 12 laps. If we get a caution in between those, you're probably going to see a couple drivers come down. You might even see some 2 tire stops out here tonight. Fuel window, about 24, 28 laps is going to be probably as far as you can stretch the fuel here tonight. And the question is going to be, do you short pit? Do you short pit here tonight? Put 4 fresh tires on, because towards the long end of that run there, you should be able to make up just a little bit of ground. Pit road going to be 50 miles an hour here. But the trick is, you got to actually come onto pit road using the access road here at Homestead on the backstretch. You're going to exit on the backstretch also, so watch for those guys to see if they don't nab any pit road speeding penalties. Looks like Brandon Young has just joined the lobby along with Cody Young and Michael Overstreet. So now it looks like we have 14 drivers registered, because here comes Josiah Millen in the number 40 also here for Homestead for the season finale. That's going to kick off here for qualifying in just under a minute. Top 10 practice times, though, on that left-hand side there. Qualifying is coming up next here for the Lightning Cup Xfinity Championship. Racing for a cause, the Vapor Trail Clothing Series. That's the trucks they're running there tonight. That's broadcasted by KR Stolfus over here on MaxSpeedTV. Tomorrow night, though, the Salt Flat IROC Series got the street stocks back in action. And racing for a cause, the K&N Series also jumping on board tomorrow night. But with just under a minute and 20 here, we're going to step away. We're going to get our national anthem played, and we will be back here from the Miami Homestead for the season finale here for the Lightning Cup Championship.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying just underway. As you see that number 8 there of Matt Jackson out there on track running a new paint scheme here in Miami. Still got the Napa Auto Parts there on the side of that car, but he's got the Boston Bruins logo. He said it's going to bring him a little good luck here from Miami tonight. So as he's out there getting up to speed, this is going to be his first lap on the clock here tonight in that number 8 machine. Matt Jackson, you see him down there towards the bottom. It looks like that car actually starts to wash up in the middle of the corner there, so we're going to have to see where he comes through the traps here on his first time lap. Looks like he goes with a 31.61. Not good enough for the pole right now, because that man right there, the number 3 of Alex Huffman, who's got new colors on that car. Used to seeing him in a white and blue car. Tonight here for Miami, though, is going with a white and black with a neon yellow number 3. And that time there by Alex Huffman didn't last long, because Tommy Gossett comes out here and he goes on a 1-lap tear. He puts down a 31.254 and takes the pole position right now. Let's see where Alex Huffman comes across the board. Doesn't look like he's going to go any quicker. A little bit slower there on his second lap. So Tommy Gossett right now has the quick time here in qualifying. Alex Huffman is third. William Martin just came in here and threw down a blistering lap. Didn't have really too much practice time in that 29 Carolina Ford Dealers. And he goes P3 right now. Michael Whitaker out here in the number 14 car as he just pulled her off the track. He was sitting there in fourth. Justin Winters out here. He is running in the 6th position right now. The 25 here of Cody Young comes in a little bit late. No practice for him either on the track as he goes 7th on his first qualifying lap. One of your championship contenders out there on track, Victor Valley, has the number 7, and also another new paint scheme there for Victor. No longer running the Pepsi number 7 here this weekend. Looks like he's running a red and black. Number 7 can't quite pull the sponsor on that machine. Let's see where Victor's going to slot in here. Looks like that's possibly his second go-round at lap number 2, so no qualifying lap for Valley. Brandon Young comes out here in the 54 machine, and he goes straight to the top 5. He goes 4th on the board right now with that 54 machine. Michael Overstreet, another late entry into this one. Looked there for a little bit. I got word earlier in the day that Michael Overstreet wasn't going to be able to make this race here for Miami Homestead as he had work obligations, but he's here tonight. He has that yellow machine, that Hertz car, running right now 9th on the boards. Mark Arthur, another one of those guys who are, normally pretty good here on the iRacing circuit. Right now out there to put down or get up to speed lap here for Mark Arthur in the 36. So it looks like just 3 drivers don't have a qualifying lap in. It's going to be the 36 here of Mark Arthur and the 999s of Josh Patterson, as Arthur's going to shut him down right there. So that's going to leave him without a qualifying time as he only has 1 minute and probably not going to be quick enough to get around the track to put in a qualified time. Looks like the number 40 of Josiah Millen not going to elect to come out here on track and take a qualifying run. And just in the nick of time here before qualifying ends, I'm joined in the booth here tonight. Once again, Danny Valenzuela joining myself, Roger Muth, up here to bring you all the action here from the Lightning Cup Championships finale race here from Homestead. Danny, it looks like 14 cars here registered, and I believe another one possibly on the way.
Looks like we got an exciting field tonight. You know, nice close race still between Victor Valley and Tommy Gossett. And with Victor Valley putting in a pretty good time, I expect to see some good action on the track out of him.
Yeah, so two of your championship contenders going to start first and third right now with only 7 seconds left here in qualifying. You just saw the 999s there of Josh Patterson go straight to the second position, so a good qualifying time by Josh. Time's going to expire, though, so no other driver is going to be able to make a qualifying attempt here. Going to have to wait and see. It's going to be a battle out there tonight, Danny. It's going to be how much do you push versus saving your tires. With only going 28 laps on fuel, you're going to have to make a handful of pit stops here tonight, and pit road's going to be crucial. As we talked earlier, going to have to come in on the back stretch here from Homestead, and you definitely don't want to, you know, really push it too hard on the access road and end up out in the grass, because that could just spell disaster for a lot of these drivers. So we're still waiting for them to grid up. It looks like mostly everybody has grid up. So let's take you through your Lightning Cup Championship starting lineup here tonight. Tommy Gossett in the number 80 has her on point here tonight. He's going to start there first. Josh Patterson coming into the 999. He's going to go second. Starting in your third position, the number 7 of Victor Valley. And Alex Huffman has a great starting spot himself. He's going to start there in that fourth starting spot tonight. The 37 of William Martin having one of the best qualifying runs of the season so far. He's going to start there in the 5th spot. Brandon Young there has the 54 spotted in the 6th spot. The 08 of Noah Samples going to roll from the 7th position, and the 14 of Michael Whitaker are going to roll off 8th here. 9th starting spot's going to be slotted in there. It looks like the 8 of Matt Jackson going to start there 9th, so he's going to have a little bit of ground to make up here. Michael Overstreet in the 78 going to round out that top 10.
Looking like Justin Winters in number 4 car, bringing it home in 11th. Starting 12th will be 25 Cody Young. Mark Arthur, we didn't get to see a time out of him, but he'll be starting 13th. Josiah Millen 14th, and the 31 of Donald Bennett will be starting 15th tonight.
So the 31 of Donald Bennett going to catch the tail of this field, as I do see him down there on the grid. You see the cars are starting to roll off pit road here. It's going to be an interesting race here tonight to see who can battle who. Is Tommy Gossett going to bring home the championship? But actually, it looks like Tommy Gossett might be starting from the tail of the field here, or maybe just didn't quite get off pit road. As actually, it looks like he's going to the back of the field. Victor Valley going to move up one position, and he will now take over the starting front row. So an interesting strategy play here by the 80 of Tommy Gossett. We're going to have to see how that pans out here going on towards later in the race here. So he will tag the back of the field and have to come through and see just where he can find that car at the end of this one. One pace left to put some heat in the tires, heat in the motors before we turn these boys loose here. The sun is shining here in Miami. Let's see if the lights kick on here yet tonight. And there you see the pace car diving towards pit road. A little sideways for the pace car, and a quick green flag. We're going to go green flag racing here for the season finale at Miami Homestead here for the Lightning Cup Championship Series. And down into turn 1, storming onto the outside, the 999s there of Josh Patterson has passed Victor Valley as they went down into turn 1. Alex Huffman also storming there on the outside. William Martin there in that 29. It does say 29 on that car, right, Danny?
I think so. I think that's what I'm seeing.
All right, it says 29 there on his car. We'll have to pay attention to that because William Martin actually slotted in the number 37, but looks like Alex Huffman going to go side by side into turn 1 there with Victor Valley. That's the battle for the second position. Alex Huffman's able to keep the momentum down, rolling on the outside. Miami, just one of those momentum tracks here tonight.
Looking like most of these guys are getting single filed out, other than that 54 and 8 of Matt Jackson, still doing a little battle with Mark Arthur behind him, putting it to the inside.
Yeah, it looks like the 14, the 36, the 8, and the 54 all battling back here from the 6th on back position, and Tommy Gossett also right behind them coming up through the field. Gossett already inside the top 10 after having to start tail end of the field here, 15th position. Front of your field has single filed out. It is still Patterson, Huffman, Valley, Martin, Samples, and then right behind him it's then a gaggle of cars with Brandon Young, Whitaker, and Matt Jackson, Mark Arthur. Tommy Gossett now going to join that battle, so you can put 5th on back pretty much in a battle, as now it looks like Matt Jackson's going to take over the 8th position. They're single file out there. But here comes Victor Valley. He's going to storm back to the inside and try to make that inside lane work on Alex Huffman. Doesn't look like he had the momentum. He will have to slide in about a car length and a half back.
Huffman looking like he's running a little bit different line than everybody else. Everybody's, for the most part, staying on that bottom. But him and Victor Valley now moving to that outside line, trying to get something going out there, getting a little more momentum rolling for him.
As they storm across the line here to complete lap number 4. 115 laps going to be the distance scheduled here tonight for these guys. And there you see Josh Patterson trying a different line through the corner there. He went to the bottom in the entry of turns 1 and 2, as he still has about a half second. Actually, Alex Huffman really cut that in half there coming through turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch into 3 and 4, though. Patterson going to go right to the bottom here. Huffman going to go back to the top side.
Battle still going on back here with the 14 of Michael Whitaker and 8 of Matt Jackson still going at it for that position, with Tommy Gossett going at it with Mark Jackson behind him there. Or Mark Arthur, sorry. Mark Arthur going at it with Tommy Gossett back there. Look like they're going to end up 3 wide, almost going into 3.
3 wide with Matt Jackson to the inside. Gossett was on the bottom there. Jackson going to go from the bottom to straight to the top. Here comes Mark Arthur. And it looks like Tommy Gossett's going to close the door there. Arthur going to have to settle for slotting in behind the 80 there of Tommy Gossett. 3 wide action here. And it looks like we have another battle back up here for the lead. It looks like the 3 of Alex Huffman going to clear the 999s there of Patterson coming off turn 2. He's trying to bring Victor Valley along. Victor Valley looking for a moment to the inside here. 3 cars, 3 different lines as they go into turn 3.
Victor Valley still working that inside line on Josh Patterson, just trying to get something working for him. It's looking like he gets him on entrance. See how he comes out at the corner here, if he's able to keep that momentum going, or if that outside line just has a little more speed.
Yeah, that time at the line, though, Alex Huffman leading a lap here from the final race of the season. Victor Valley doing everything he has to do here tonight as he's looking to the inside of Josh. It looks like he's going to be able to slide up in front of Josh there coming off turn 4. So now move Victor Valley into the 2nd position, but look a little bit farther back at the stripe there. Tommy Gossett's being scored right now in the 6th position. So he started 15th on the field, now runs in the 6th spot. He's on the move. We got a battle up here for the lead. It looks like the 3 of Huffman still out there riding the outside. Victor Valley going to make the move to the inside. Victor has it at the line. Let's see who scored in the front. Victor Valley going to lead a lap. He'll take home a bonus point here, doing exactly what he needs to do now that he finds the 7 out front. He found something down on that bottom groove as Huffman's up top there.
Be interested to see as this run goes on, if he's able to keep that line going, or if he's eventually going to have to move back up into that line that Alex is running, and how that changes things up for him.
Yeah, it looked like Victor wanted to slide up in front of Alex there and just wasn't clear, wasn't able to. He had to lift just a little bit so he didn't get ran over by the 3 of Huffman, and that allowed Alex to battle back. Alex led that lap that time at the line. What a battle we have towards the front, and look just behind them. Tommy Gossett taking over that 5th position there from William Martin. He's on the charge still, and right behind him, though, Mark Arthur still coming through the field, too. He started a little bit farther back than he wanted to in that Dr. Sasquatch number 36 machine. Right now, Arthur, though, running there in that 8th spot. The question is, though, can Victor Valley battle back and get around Alex Huffman? Because Noah Samples is right there, and he's coming towards the front also. Samples, though, right now running in your, well, it's scored third. He's battling it right now with Josh Patterson. Josh right up to the outside. Oh, contact with the outside wall for Josh Patterson.
Noah's been running a good race, moving up through the field, but now he's got Tommy Gossett sitting right there behind him. Something he's going to have to be thinking about as he's running these lines, trying to catch up to those two leaders.
And the question, where is Tommy Gossett going to go? He's now on the back bumper there, the 08 there of Samples. Let's see where he goes down in the corner. And it doesn't look like he was able to go anywhere because he wasn't sure where Samples was going to go. Samples kind of parked it in the middle of the track there and told Tommy to find a way around him. Still Alex Huffman, Victor Valley, Noah Samples, Tommy Gossett runs fourth, and Michael Whitaker. Oh, I think Alex Huffman was into the outside wall. Huffman into the outside wall, Danny, and that's going to damage that aerodynamics on that number 3.
He's dropping through the field pretty quick now. We have, what, 4 or 5 cars going past him. Bringing Tommy Gossett further towards the front. One less car he's really got to put an effort in to get past as he goes past Noah Samples right there coming out of 2.
Yeah, I'm sure Alex Huffman not happy with himself there. Didn't see exactly what happened. We saw the sparks fly, and then we noticed the number 3 of Huffman really dropping through the field. Now that's going to put Tommy Gossett there in your second spot. And Noah Samples is third with Michael Whitaker there fourth. Mark Arthur is fifth, and now Huffman finds himself in sixth as he's going to go 3 wide to the outside here. He's trying to come around Mark Arthur, but he won't have the momentum just yet because Arthur is side by side with the number 14 there of Michael Whitaker as they come down the backstretch. Really close action there between Mark Arthur and Michael Whitaker as they were literally door to door. I think one of them might have handed somebody a beverage there going through 3 and 4, and they are still side by side pretty close. Now it looks like Mark Arthur will take the 4th spot. Whitaker going to try and slide under here coming off turn number 2. Will he have the momentum? Josh Patterson back there into the outside wall hard for that 999 there of Josh Patterson.
Alex looks like he's gathered things up in that 3 car, kind of finding his rhythm again, not dropping anymore, but not looking like he's got the car that's going to be pushing up through the field right now with that damage on the right side.
Yeah, it might be one of those things where he's going to have to, cool it down just a little bit as you see 3 wide action behind them. Matt Jackson almost made contact with William Martin there as they were 3 wide. But back to talking about Alex Huffman for just a moment, he started in the 4th spot. He jumped out there real early to lead 6 laps here tonight, and now he found himself into the outside. He might just have to cool down just a little bit, grab his bearings again, and find a line that's now going to work because there could be possibly a little bit of an aero push now when he goes down into the corner with that right side damage of that, and you see him really lifting now as he goes into the corner.
He's definitely going to be fighting with that car a little bit, making it work, but there's always some place it'll run for you. It's just a matter of whether you can find it or if you like running there. Sometimes running on the outside wall makes you pretty nervous, running those speeds right up against there, hoping that you don't slip and tag the wall again.
Yeah, talking about the outside wall, we talked about that in the pre-race, but I mean, it takes, a special kind of driver to really go up there and play with the Kyle Larson line. Not too many drivers like yourself, Danny. You don't like going up there and hanging it right against the wall. Myself, put it on the edge of danger and let's just have some fun out there, and that's what Alex Huffman was trying to do, and now we're going to have to see if he's going to play that strategy out there tonight. Out front, though, still that 7 of Victor Valley. He's led now 8 laps here out of the 19 laps so far in this event. Tommy Gossett got the 2nd place and kind of just been sitting right around that half-second mark. Noah Samples sitting right on the the back end there of that number 80 of Gossett. Noah Samples runs 3rd, and Mark Arthur just back there tailing that little 3-car train. Looks like, though, Tommy Gossett's starting to chew into that lead there that Victor Valley has.
I've been watching it the last little bit here, and it's slowly dropping, but it doesn't seem like he's in any real hurry to get up there and make something happen. I think he knows there's plenty of race left, and you know, no sense in breaking the car on your way to get to the front.
Yeah, so let's go give a quick rundown here of your top 10 as they run, because pit cycle should be starting in just a moment. It looks like Victor Valley is out front, but Tommy Gossett really on his back bumper now. Gossett is second place. Noah Sample still sits there third with Mark Arthur in the fourth spot. Michael Whitaker runs fifth with Alex Huffman there dropping to the sixth spot. Matt Jackson runs seventh as he just gets around that 37 there of William Martin, who runs now eighth. Josh Patterson been into the outside wall a couple times. He runs ninth, and Justin Winters a little bit farther back here runs in your 10th spot. It looks like the first man down pit road, though, going to be that 78 there of Michael Overstreet. He's going to bring the Hertz number 78 down pit road first.
Looking to the front here, Tommy Gossett going for that lead. Taking that outside line, coming out of 3 and 4, getting that momentum going.
As he does that, Mark Arthur there goes to the outside of Noah Sample, so now it's going to be a 3-car train to the outside here. Can Victor Valley hang on? It looks like he pushes up through the middle there, almost gets into Tommy Gossett. Lifted just a tad. That's going to give Gossett, though, the momentum down the backstretch here. Gossett looks to clear the 7. Maybe just a small fender there to the rear as, oh, here comes Victor Valley. He pushes up the track. Contact with the number 80. Contact there between Tommy Gossett and Victor Valley. Two of your championship contenders here tonight making contact. Tommy Gossett off the pace. He's back onto the loud pedal, but losing a lot of track position and a lot of time. He went there from on the outside of Victor Valley side by side. Now back to running. It looks like 2.5 seconds back in the 6th spot. But as that battle brewed, look to the front here. Mark Arthur going to the outside of Victor Valley now. Could be a dangerous spot because you saw how Victor Valley really got tight there and pushed up into that number 80 at Gossett, but Mark Arthur going to take the chance and go to the outside.
This late in the run, he might not be able to keep that car down there, and so these guys trying to stay down low and take some of the momentum might be putting themselves at big risk. Looks like he's dropping off the pace here, maybe looking to pit this time by.
It looks like the 7 to Victor Valley going to be the first one of the leaders here to come down pit road. Actually, Noah Sample's also just in front of him because you guys saw that 78 machine of Michael Overstreet come shooting into the picture there. He came down the previous lap, and you could definitely tell the closing, gap distance that he had on the leaders there. So two of your leaders, Valley, along with Samples, and I believe Josh Patterson also coming down pit road. Now the question is, when will Mark Arthur come? It looks like Mark Arthur actually may have a little bit of right front damage on that Dr. Sasquatch number 36 machine. So a handful of guys, though, down pit road right now. It looks like Noah Sample still down there with Victor Valley and those guys. But also here comes Tommy Gossett. He's coming down pit road, and he's bringing a whole slew of guys with him. Oh, no. William Martin in the 36 goes around on pit road. He's going to turn it around, but he's going to lose a lot of time on track with that Ford Mustang. Looks like Josiah Millen and Donald Bennett also coming down off the banking there. We'll have to see how that scored. I believe you got to use the access road here. So that leaves just 3 drivers out there. Mark Arthur, Matt Jackson, and Justin Winters out here playing the long haul game. It looks like I was told you can go about 28 laps, and 28 laps is probably going to be as far as you're going to be able to stretch it. Mark Arthur, though, out here trying the strategy. He's going to see as far as he can go on this tank of fuel.
Like we've talked to him before, he's a guy that's used to running longer races, maybe playing that long game, but 28 laps in, those tires are not going to be happy. He's going to be giving up time as soon as these guys start coming back out of pit row.
Yeah, now Justin Winters comes down pit road and hands over that 3rd position, and here comes Matt Jackson. Oh, Matt Jackson misses the access road. He's going to slide into the grass. Have to see how that's scored. Oh, Matt Jackson now going to lock him up, and he goes around coming onto pit road. So Matt Jackson making a slew of mistakes there as he's going to back her around in that Boston Bruins number 8 machine, but he's going to lose a lot of time. Here comes Mark Arthur this time. He is definitely down, and he will be able to hold her down there on the access road as he is way down on speed. He's not trying to speed. He just needs to get his pit stop done and get back out there. Mark Arthur almost spun out that number 36 coming onto pit road like we just saw Matt Jackson do.
Maybe just send somebody out there, go check for some oil spilled or something.
So as Mark Arthur comes down to complete his service to that machine, let's check where the next guy would be. That's going to be the 08 of Noah Samples in Victor Valley, and they're still running nose to tail here, second and third, but they should take over the lead here once pit cycles cycle through here. Working lap number 30 already here, coming to a close here. Let's see, there's Mark Arthur coming off pit road there. He hits that blue cone. Now he's able to get up into the racing surface. It looks like he's going to come out of the pits there in third, and he's going to have 5 lap fresher tires than anybody that's in front of him as he battles with Michael Whitaker there. But the new tires on that 36 of Arthur should prevail here as you see the inside groove working a little bit better right now. Tommy Gossett still is trying to rebound as right now he runs in the 5th spot. Alex Huffman with a little bit of damage. He runs there 6th. Noah Samples right now, though, has about a 0.3 second lead over Victor Valley. That's the gap back to that second place runner. Victor Valley doing exactly what he has to do. He had a little scuffle with Tommy Gossett, but that really didn't hurt Tommy Gossett. And right now he runs in that 5th spot.
Looking at Tommy's time there on pit lane, it doesn't look like he stayed any longer to get anything fixed on that car, so maybe no damage to it, or maybe he just thinks he's got a car that's going to run for him either way.
Yeah, Tommy Gossett didn't look like he had any damage. They just made slight contact and the 80 went sideways, and he was able to carry on. He just had to slow down, had to regain focus and figure out what was going to happen here. As it looks like the 08 there, or Noah Samples, having a little bit of connection issues. He goes in and out a little bit. Mark Arthur, though, still sits there in third. It looks like about 2.5 seconds back from the leader, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that and see if he's able to close up, or what's, is he out there, really saving fuel. The reason he might have been able to stretch his fuel so far was he did stay in the draft for, a good portion of that first stage there before they came down to pit road, so maybe saving a little bit of fuel staying in the draft. That first half of the race allowed Mark Arthur to go a little bit farther. Well, Danny, your brother's back out here in chat tonight. He said that pit road looks like some Mario Kart banana peel shenanigans being thrown there at the entry to pit road for a couple of those guys like Matt Jackson, William Martin, and Mark Arthur almost fell victim to that too.
It was interesting. It seemed to be right there, just about the same spot on entry. I don't know if they were coming down a little quicker than they realized and had to lock them up real quick, or just something odd about that transition there, catching a couple guys out.
Yeah, it catches a couple guys. But Danny, it's pretty interesting. The Lightning Cup Championship Series following the traditional NASCAR circuit here as they, wind down their season here from Miami Homestead. The big news out of NASCAR today, stating that Miami Homestead in 2020 will no longer be the season finale for the NASCAR boys. They will wind up over at, the old Phoenix Raceway. What is that, ISM now?
That'll be interesting to see how that changes things up. At least in my mind, a little bit more of a driver's track. The high line's so dominant here. There, it's a little more of your throttle control and getting that car to turn for you. As
you talk about throttle control right now, though, the 36 of Mark Arthur, definitely on the loud pedal. We've been focusing on Mark Arthur here the last handful of laps, and he went from being 2.5 seconds back there. Right now finds himself sitting at 1 second back, so he is definitely on the move, and he is really starting to reel in the leaders. It looks like Victor Valley, though, looking to the inside here.
He's been running that inside line all night long, and we saw it working for him right up to the end of that last run. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Keep running it.
as he went down into the corner there. Noah Samples saw what lane Victor wanted, so he went down there and kind of took the air away. But here comes Victor. He knows he's got to go. If he's gonna get out front and try and lead a little bit of this and try and run away, he's got to get around Noah Samples right now. Because looking in the mirror, Mark Arthur now, dun 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 dun. He's just a half second back there behind your two leaders here, and they're really starting to battle. Remember, 5-lap difference between Noah Samples, Victor Valley, and Mark Arthur. Arthur, the last guy to come down pit road, so he's got the freshest tires out of the group.
Mark Arthur coming in that picture real quick out of 2. Jumping to the outside there, Victor Valley.
It looks like Victor just kind of moves down to the bottom lane. We know that's where Victor has been running a lot here tonight. Maybe he just wants to stay down there. Oh, he slides up in front of Mark Arthur. Arthur going to throw a crossover. He's going to jump to the inside here and see if he can find a little momentum at the start-finish line. Victor still has it. Mark's just hanging back there on that quarter panel.
There you see it. He takes away that line from Victor Valley. Victor not quite so happy up there a lane or two, and Mark Arthur just slides right on by.
Arthur slides on by, and here comes, oh wow, looks like a really early pit stop here for the 7 of Victor Valley. He's going to throw her down here onto the access road. He's going to come down pit road. This may be a bold strategy here, Danny. He's been out there for only 14 laps, coming to complete lap 15 on his cycle, as he doesn't have any issue coming down onto pit road, as Mark Arthur, though, has taken over the lead as he battles with Noah Samples, since Victor Valley really throwing an unscheduled pit stop here.
Not quite sure what's going on here. That's not going to get him to the end of the race or anything like that. It's just going to put him off schedule with everybody else.
He's going to be off sequence right now, though. Mark Arthur not even halfway on his pit cycle. I mean, that Victor Valley was halfway on his, as you see him sitting in his pit box right now. So not exactly sure what's going on with driver 7, but he's got to know the strategy that he's playing as he drops the jack. He's off pit road now. Shown 1 lap down, though.
Well, that'll be definitely something I'm keeping track of to see what's going on throughout this race, because I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, so put that in your little notepad. Lap 41, points championship hunt contender Victor Valley in the 7 comes down pit road to get himself off sequence. I guess, you know, if you're going to try something different, actually, it looks like a couple guys doing this strategy. Here comes Tommy Gossett, and I believe Alex Huffman's also down pit road as he drops the jack. He dropped the jack. He's out of pit road now, but Tommy Gossett going to give up his 5th running spot and come down pit road. Strategies here from Homestead. Here comes Mark Arthur, though. He'll put the number 80 of Tommy Gossett a lap down. So 3 drivers off sequence here. Tommy Gossett, Victor Valley, Alex Huffman all pitting off sequence from your leader of Mark Arthur. And Mark Arthur was the one who played the strategy on the first pit cycle as he stayed out the longest. It looks like here comes another driver. Here comes Michael Overstreet. He's going to shoot down pit road. He's been out there for 21 laps. He was the first driver to come down and take fuel and put tires on that 78 Hertz machine.
That's an interesting way to break it up, because they'll need one more stop, but maybe fresher tires at the end is what they're looking at. Looking for that last end of the race push.
Looks like possibly by my calculations, they're going to need 2 more pit stops here before this one's over to make it the rest of the way. So we're going to have to see, because here's Michael Whitaker. He's down pit road. Also Justin Winters down pit road. So that's going to leave 3 guys out here off sequence. Mark Arthur, Noah Samples, Josh Patterson, and Matt Jackson, along with Donald Bennett and Josiah Millen. All those drivers are still out here. Cody Young and Brandon Miller also actually on that sequence. But everybody in between, your leaders in Donald Bennett, and Millen, and Youngs, all off sequence.
That's just really interesting, because we know, or from what we've seen earlier, Mark Arthur's most likely going to run this thing out as long as he possibly can. And, you know, barring some kind of caution or something like that, those guys are going to be stuck a lap down until he does that.
Yeah, so right now only 4 drivers on the lead lap. Like we said, Arthur, Samples, Patterson, and Jackson on the lead lap. I bet right now even Matt Jackson is yelling, hey, there's oil on the track. Throw the yellow flag. As actually it looks like another driver's down pit road. Here comes Josh Patterson. He's in pit road, and Matt Jackson. So that'll leave 2 drivers now out on track and still on the lead lap. And Mark Arthur actually is about 10 laps away before he's going to bring down that 36 to pit road. Noah Samples, though, not far behind, only sitting 2 seconds right now. Maybe Noah's saving a little bit in that 08 machine. You never know what's going on with a lot of these drivers. We don't hear the communication between the drivers, if they have any teammates or driver, and if they have, you know, a spotter out there helping them out. As there you see the 8 of Matt Jackson coming off pit road, now sits in the 8th position, 2 laps down, so we're going to have to see how he rebounds. But, I mean, every driver has a little bit different strategy. We know what Mark Arthur's is going to be here, and that's going to be run it out. What's Noah Samples thinking right now? Victor Valley, who runs in the 3rd position, 1 lap down, is the first machine that was one of the first guys that were down onto pit road. So he finds himself 1 lap down, sitting 3rd. Then it's Alex Huffman, who's coming off turn 4 right behind Victor. It looks like he is, I believe, about 2 seconds back from Victor Valley. So those are your first 2 drivers that are on the off sequence. And then you got like Josh Patterson, Matt Jackson, who are on a completely different schedule that kind of cut this race from what they did in half yet. Noah Samples is probably going to be the next driver to bring her down pit road. He's been out there for 24 laps, 25 laps now on those tires. So he's probably got about 2, 3, possibly 4 laps left out there on track.
If you're Noah Samples, you're thinking, I'm hoping I can make it to as long as Mark Arthur to keep everything in sync with him, maybe. But from what we've seen, there's no way he's going to make it with his last pit stop compared to where Mark Arthur's was, unless he's doing some serious fuel saving right now.
And he could possibly be doing that fuel saving, because now looking at timing and scoring, the gap between Noah Samples and Mark Arthur is now a little over 3 seconds, so he might be out there lifting a little bit early, backing the corners up as that gap grows just a little bit more now. Mark Arthur, though, still out front here for the season finale from Miami here. Noah Samples, it looks like, still staying out there on track. He's still having a little bit of connection issues. And there's Victor Valley, the guy who runs 3rd, 1 lap down. He is starting to catch up to Noah Samples, but he still has a good distance, about a 5-second gap till he would find the leader of Mark Arthur to unlap himself. Not quite halfway, and different strategies being deployed here at Miami Homestead for the season finale. Now it looks like Noah Samples going to turn over the 2nd place position here and bring that 08 down here. Looks like he's been out there for 27 laps, just headed on to 28 for himself.
Back to see Mark Arthur stay out there in another 4 or 5 laps. Probably looking at 4 laps. Keep extending that and hoping to keep that lead with him, I'm assuming.
Looks like Brandon Young in the 54, who runs back in the 14th spot. He's going to come down and get service done. He's been out there for 26 laps on this pit cycle for himself. He's down a little bit. I think he had a little bit of a connection issue. As you know, you always got to remember, this is iRacing. This is an internet-based simulator. And, you know, sometimes either, you know, PC issues or connection issues sometimes plague drivers, and it looks like Brandon Young was a victim to that, as it looks like here comes Cody Young, the brother to Brandon, down pit road. He runs in the car 25 in the 13th position, so those 2 down pit road. Mark Arthur, though, still out there circling.
It worked from the last time by, so no reason to change what's working.
Yeah, it's something ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm a firm believer where, you know, get to it before it breaks. But he's been out there for 26 laps, so possibly in the next 2 laps, look to see Mark Arthur come down to make his pit stop. before lap number 60. So Victor Valley still hanging right behind Mark Arthur here. Still hasn't caught him just yet. About a 3-second gap between Arthur and Valley. And then add another lap on top of that because that's how far Victor Valley is behind. And Alex Huffman still sitting 2 seconds behind Victor Valley. Michael Whitaker runs then only about a half-second back from Alex Huffman in the 4th spot. Then you got to go about a second and a half back till you find the number 80 of Tommy Gossett, who's now been out there for 13 laps on his pit cycle. So he's halfway into his run before he has to come back down.
Mark Arthur still staying out there for another one. Keep running it.
Something
Victor
wrong
Valley,
with the 8 car there on the front stretch here. He's down into the grass off turn 4. Matt Jackson having a little bit of issues. He's going to have to tow. No caution will be thrown here, so Mark Arthur was probably hoping that a caution was going to be thrown there for the 8 of Matt Jackson, who had to pull her down off the racing surface. Interesting things happening all over the place as we look back here. It looks like there's a gaggle of cars back here. Michael Whitaker, or Alex Huffman, and that looks like Michael Overstreet all battling back here with Justin Winters. Winters and Overstreet on the same lap battling it out. They've been out there the same amount, 13 laps for each other. And then 2 of your leaders out in front here. Michael Whitaker there in that red and white number 14, and Alex Huffman. They were almost 4 wide at one point. As now it actually looks like time, Danny. Here comes Mark Arthur on lap 29. He's drove the wheels off that car as far as he could stretch the fuel. 29 laps this time for Mark Arthur on fuel.
A little bit cleaner entry into the pits that time. Maybe learned something last time through.
Yeah, so now we're going to have to see where Mark Arthur comes back out on track. Because remember, Victor Valley was about 2 seconds back there before Mark Arthur came down pit road. 2 seconds and 1 lap. Where is Victor Valley right now, you ask? Well, there he is on track. He looks like he's working himself off. I believe that's corner number 4. So he's going to be coming down the front stretch here to pass Mark Arthur, because there it is. Mark Arthur still sitting on pit road. Victor Valley now goes to the point here.
Victor Valley 20 laps into this run with those tires. And Mark Arthur coming out on brand new tires.
Yeah, but the question is, where does Mark Arthur land once he gets that number 36 up to speed? Because Victor Valley knows he's out front, and he has a 2-second gap over Alex Huffman right now. And then it's going to be, it looks like... I was trying to find where Michael Whitaker was, and Whitaker's right there looking to the inside, knocking on Alex Huffman's door. Huffman going to go to the outside. It looks like here comes Michael Whitaker. He's trying to diamond it off the corner, running a little bit lower than Huffman. They're not quite side by side, but ever so little. Here comes Michael Whitaker on the number 3. Side by side, off turn number 4 they go at the stripe. It's still Alex Huffman by just the splitter on that number 3 Camaro. Michael Whitaker, though, has that inside lane really working for him. He found a little bit there. This time he goes down there, touches the white line. Let's see, he's going to get tight coming off the corner. Alex Huffman just has that number 3 wound up on the outside. He gets the momentum. As you see there, Michael Whitaker going to have to slot back in behind him for a moment, but he's not going to wait there too long. Through the middle of the corner, it looks like Whitaker really has a little bit better of a Camaro there coming through the center of the corner.
Whitaker's sitting on slightly new tires, but running that inside line is going to take quite a bit to get that momentum to match what Huffman's able to produce on the outside line.
And as they battle back there, then they see that yellow car in the picture. That's going to be the 78 of Michael Overstreet, and just behind him, another yellow car. Here comes Tommy Gossett. It looks like Gossett kind of received a little bit of right front damage on that number 80 Toyota Camry. Not sure where that came from exactly. So let's find out where Mark Arthur is slotted. Right now, Mark Arthur trying to go around that 08 of Noah Samples. Samples runs in the 5th position. Mark Arthur wants to go back around him. These two drivers are sitting right now at the 5-second mark behind leader of Victor Valley. They almost made contact. Maybe just a slight contact there between Mark Arthur and the 08 of Noah Samples. As Arthur has the newer tires, was trying to get back to the throttle maybe just a little bit sooner than Noah Samples. They made contact, and the 08 went up the track. Mark Arthur, though, carries on as the leader's actually now only 4 seconds between Victor Valley and Mark Arthur. Something may have happened there to the driver of the 7, or maybe the tires are just really starting to go away as they're 24 laps into his pit run, as you see him really start to slide up the track there.
This will be interesting. Mark Arthur on almost brand new tires, and Victor Valley most likely counting down laps till he comes in here to take new tires again.
Looking at timing and scoring, since we just talked about Mark Arthur literally just a second ago, check it out. Gap to the leader, cut that already in half. Now it's down right at 3 seconds as he's looking to the inside here on Tommy Gossett going down the backstretch. Gossett holds on to the 4th position. Now give the 4th position to Mark Arthur. Mark Arthur takes over that 3rd position. Timing and scoring a little behind there on that display, but right now on the live timing and scoring that I'm looking at, it looks like that gap now for Mark Arthur.
Victor Valley down pit road again.
I was just about to say something happened. Victor Valley must have went down pit road because now Mark Arthur goes 3 wide to the bottom, and he takes over the lead there from Michael Whitaker and Alex Huffman. Here comes Alex Huffman, here comes Whitaker, and here comes Tommy Gossett. Those 3, they know Mark Arthur got to him. They knew at that point it was time to come for 4 fresh tires. So those 3 going to hand over their top 5 spots as, Huffman kind of locks him up there. Whitaker almost into the back of him. So timing and scoring going to jump once again. Mark Arthur going to take back over the lead here on lap 67. You know, pit strategy is what we're seeing here. Different strategies, and, well, not quite sure what else you can really say. Looks like 2 drivers off track right now. Going to be the 8 of Matt Jackson and the number 40 of Josiah Millen as they sit on pit road for the last 5 minutes plus. William Martin, though, has loaded the 37 up. He is out of the season finale here from Homestead. He'll finish 15th here on the day. Mark Arthur, though, does have a 2-second gap back to Noah Samples. It doesn't look like that much on a track. It just looks like, maybe just a couple feet. Really, it's not. It's a 2.2 second gap now back here to the 08 of Noah Samples, and then it's another 10 seconds back till you find the guy who's running in 3rd, and he's coming down pit road. Josh Patterson hard on the brakes, may have made a little contact with the pit road wall there as he came down. And it does look like there's a little rear end spoiler damage done to Josh Patterson's car, but we did see Josh into the wall a couple times here tonight off the corners. So Josh hits his pit box. Mark Arthur still out there circling the track. Now it looks like everybody once again down 1 lap other than Noah Samples and Mark Arthur.
This is going to get exciting towards the end here. It's all going to come down to that pit strategy. Who's timed it out just right to have those fresh tires at the end of the race. How much time they can make up with them, and who they're able to actually get past with them.
Yeah, it looks like out of the guys who came down pit road, Victor Valley got out first. He actually has almost a 4-second gap over Alex Huffman. Huffman, Michael Whitaker, and Tommy Gossett back here all battling for the 5th, 6th, and 7th position. Huffman has the 5th position. Gossett has 6th. And Michael Whitaker right now holding on to the 7th spot.
Looking now like that 78 of Michael Overstreet dropping down to that access road to head down pit road.
So Michael Overstreet going to hand over the 3rd position here for that 78 Hertz machine. Yellow out on track. It looks like Josh Patterson. No, not Josh Patterson. Tommy Gossett has looped that number 80 machine. He went around not having the night. That's not going to help him for the championship hunt here. So caution coming out on lap number 70. Let's go back and see what happened to Tommy Gossett here on the MaxSpeedTV replay. Oh, maybe a little bit of net code, and then the 14 of Michael Whitaker drives right into the side of him. We might have to go and find another look here of that one. Maybe we can go back and let's go from overhead here. Let's just go from the chase camera, and you can see the left quarter panel for Tommy Gossett. There is actually some contact there to the left rear before Michael Whitaker gets into the door of Tommy Gossett. Sure, Gossett's not too happy about that one, as they were battling there for the 5th spot. So that's going to bring out our first caution here from Miami, and it involves one of your championship contenders. But Danny, look at the timing and scoring right now. Throw a curveball. This is exactly what Mark Arthur, Noah Samples, and Victor Valley wanted out there. Because Mark Arthur, Noah Samples are the only 2 drivers on the lead lap. Noah was about, 6 laps from pitting. Mark Arthur's only halfway on his pit cycle. But that's going to trap Alex Huffman, Michael Whitaker, Josh Patterson, Tommy Gossett, Justin Winters all lapped down. The question is, though, Victor Valley, as you see him, he will get his lap back. Now, if Mark Arthur comes down pit road and Noah Samples, actually, Noah comes down, Mark does not. Okay, so now this throws another wrench in. The mind keeps ticking here, looking at the strategy being played here. Mark Arthur's going to stay out on track. That will not allow the gentleman who just came to pit road, such as Huffman, Whitaker, Patterson, or Gossett. Those drivers will now be trapped a lap down, as if Mark Arthur would have came down and they stayed out, they all would have been put onto the tail end of the lead lap. But now with him staying out, Danny, they're trapped.
There's not a whole lot they're able to do at this point. They're going to have to race all the way back around for that position. You see quite a couple of them coming down. Might as well take some new tires and see what you can do with them.
Now, Mark Arthur has been playing a strategy that none of us know, and we're not going to interrupt Mark Arthur here to figure out what his strategy is under this yellow. We do know Mark Arthur's going to most likely run this fuel stretch out. As you see, everybody else is going to come down and get tires. Everybody else. So that'll leave Mark Arthur out there once we go back green flag racing with 18 laps on his tires. Probably looking at 10 laps before he brings them back down. I mean, I could see some, maybe a little bit of disaster here for Mark Arthur if he's not careful, because everybody's going to have fresh tires on his 18-lap old tires. And he could get run over if he's not careful.
This restart's going to be crucial for him to make sure, he gets that car rolling nice and smooth, and everybody behind him stays aware that he's on some older tires and they're going to come up on him pretty quick.
So out of the lap down cars pitting, Alex Huffman will be the first one off pit road. Had a great stop there, only 15 seconds in his box. Then it looks like Josh Patterson will lead the rest of those guys off. There you see the 7 of Victor Valley. He did have to come down. He is on the lead lap, but he did have to pit with the lap down cars. Let's take a look through timing and scoring. Where is Tommy Gossett being scored right now? He's being scored in the 7th spot, but Tommy Gossett's still sitting on pit road trying to get some damage. That's not quite the camera angle we wanted for Tommy Gossett, but there it is. Tommy Gossett has a heavy amount of damage on that machine now, and he's still sitting there on pit road. There we have one of our pit road cameras. We can just kind of zoom in on the top of it there. It gives you a good look. You see a lot of right front damage, left front damage, and it has some spoiler damage yet on top of that one, so not the night that Tommy Gossett wanted. Looks like lights on the pace car are out, though we should go back green flag racing next time by here. That would put us on lap 78 of the race.
Noah Samples to the outside of Mark Arthur. Going to have that, what we seem to be pretty much the preferred line once the tires start going away. On almost brand new tires against Mark Arthur's half stint tires, and just behind him, Victor Valley on brand new tires. I expect to see those guys go past real quick, and it'll be interesting to see if Mark Arthur has to do something to respond to that, or if he's able to, keep running the strategy he's got going.
Yeah, So right now it's a strategy being deployed here from all over the books. We're going to have to see how it plays out. Mark Arthur staying out, 18-lap old tires. Noah Samples, fresh rubber. Same with Victor Valley. Everybody else behind them, lap down. Michael Whitaker, Alex Huffman, Josh Patterson, Tommy Gossett, all 1 lap down cars. Michael Overstreet, Justin Winters, 2 laps. Donald Bennett is 3 laps down, and a handful of other drivers, numerous laps off the pace here. Pace cars in, though. We will go back green flag racing. There goes Mark Arthur. He fires off real early. He knows he has to get away while the getting is good. Victor Valley, and it looks like the 999s there of Josh Patterson split Michael Whitaker. Whitaker also electing to stay out under that yellow as he sits there 5th place with 9-lap old tires, as they're going to look to split the 36 of Mark Arthur here at the front. Noah Samples to the outside, Victor Valley to the inside. Here comes Josh Patterson, 3 wide down the front stretch at the stripe. New leader, the number 7 of Victor Valley, back to the point.
Bringing that 999 of Josh Patterson right around with him. Those new tires definitely working for those guys. Mark Arthur looks like he's dropping pretty quick.
Right now you have to ask yourself, was the strategy worth it? Was the orange worth the squeeze for Mark Arthur? Because he's getting freight trained right now by all these guys on newer tires. Here comes even the number 14 of Michael Whitaker when he's only out there on 11-lap old tires, but you see the drive that he's able to hold there and go right around Mark Arthur. Noah Samples still to the inside here of Josh Patterson, but Josh, and it looks like the 3 of Alex Huffman, those 2 drivers a lap down. He's not actually battling with them at all. He's battling Victor Valley, who's out front as, it looks like Alex Huffman making contact there with Noah Samples, as Samples had a connection issue for a moment as they ghosted into each other, and then Samples went up the track. Here comes Mark Arthur. He's going to go underneath that 08 machine. He's going to take back over the 2nd spot, as Noah Samples still continuing to have a little bit of connection issue.
That gap between Mark Arthur and Victor Valley growing each time by ever so surely.
As you talk about Mark Arthur, it looks like he's just about put 3 wide there for a second. Again, Brandon Young to the inside has fresher tires. He thought to go to the inside for a moment and then elected not to. Looks like the 08 of Noah Samples, though. Oh, contact! Contact between Arthur and Samples as Arthur on the older tires started to push there. When Samples went to the outside, he gathered it up. Maybe wrinkled that right front just a little bit more, but Mark Arthur just hanging on at this point. Victor Valley has right now a 2.2 second gap back to Noah Samples. All the drivers you see behind Victor Valley, all those drivers are a lap down. You got to go all the way back here into this hornet's nest before you find the 08 of Noah Samples right behind the 54 of Brandon Young, who's running 12th right now, 9 laps off the pace. Look at Mark Arthur as Tommy Gossett's going to go to the inside here on Mark Arthur. They put 3 wide for a second through 3 and 4 as the 78 there of Overstreet went around him on the outside. Gossett stuck his nose to the inside. Mark Arthur now back from Victor Valley, 3.8, 3.7 seconds back.
Mark Arthur just dropping through this field. Those old tires doing him no favors. Noah Samples and Victor Valley just slowly pulling out, working with what they got to do. You know, almost looking at I don't want to say an easy race, but being one of 3 cars in the lead lap gives you a little bit less to stress about.
Yeah, looking at a little bit of strategy right now, Mark Arthur would have to go to right around lap 90 to make it the rest of the way on fuel. If he goes to lap 90, he should be pretty good. Looking right now at how long he's been out there, Arthur's been out there for 25 laps. Yes, now remember, we did have 4 laps of caution out there, so that's going to give him a little bit of fuel back if he was out there able to shut off that machine. So put that in context now. Mark Arthur could be on the strategy that he only needs 1 more pit stop as the other guys will also only need one more pit stop, but he'll have the fresher tires first.
Hopefully able to use those to make up some of that time, so when those guys eventually have to come back down, he's able to put them down and put some distance.
The guy who's running right behind Mark Arthur, though, the 31 there of Donald Bennett in that Saucony Creek Brewing out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. He's right now running inside the top 10. He had no practice, and he literally joined as these guys were starting to grid up here tonight. So right now, Donald Bennett, though, finds himself running in that 10th spot, 3 laps down behind Justin Winters. Let's go back out front. Victor Valley, Danny, 3 seconds up right now on Noah Samples.
He's got to be real happy with that gap, and looks like it's growing a little bit each time by, so, you know, he's doing it. It's working. Nothing to change there.
Top 3 at the top of the screen, Valley, Samples, and Arthur. You can see the gap between Victor Valley and Mark Arthur. Not able to see quite the gap there between him and Noah Samples, as that is a white driver background, unfortunately, for Noah Samples. So, but you can see Mark Arthur over 5-second gap now.
Looks like we got a battle brewing here between 99 of Josh Patterson and 14 of Michael Whitaker. Whitaker looking to that inside line, trying to get it rolling. Those older tires, quite a bit older than Josh Patterson on the tires, not able to make that work.
Let's see the 54 there, Brandon Young also come around Michael Whitaker there. The tires just starting to fall off now on Whitaker's car. As we talk about tires, it looks like Mark Arthur coming down. He's going to make it to lap 90, which will be his last pit stop. Let's see how he comes on. Is he going to slide it? Oh, a little rear end kick out of the 36 there as he hammered on the brakes before pit lane. But it looks like he'll get her woed up. He will come down pit road here to make his final stop of the night. As Mark Arthur's down pit road, here comes Victor Valley. Valley going to stay on that same strategy right now. He knows he needs to keep Mark Arthur within a, an arm's reach, as he has a quick car out there, and he had a 5-second gap on Mark Arthur, so strategy being deployed. Noah Samples also right behind Victor Valley, so a lot of strategy being played between the top 3 here on the lead lap. Right now, I believe the man who might take over the lead, though, will be Alex Huffman in that number 3 machine once this cycles through. As there it goes, Huffman now is your race leader here on lap 91, but he still has to pit one more time. He's going to have to make it to lap 100, I believe, to make it the rest of the way for himself. I stand corrected. It might be lap 95. Sometimes you can't do the math when you're here from Pennsylvania. So as it cycles through, Victor Valley's going to come out of the pits in 4th position. He's got a 3.9-second gap back to Mark Arthur, but that's starting to shrink real quick. Looking where Noah Samples is, he has the even bigger lead over Victor Valley. He's got the gap between Victor Valley and Noah Samples back to Victor Valley is right around 3.5. So as he's still having a little bit of connection issues with that 08, it's kind of playing a little havoc on the old camera angle.
Well, we see Mark Arthur move up through this field, make things happen. Looking like they're going to be running about the same tires from here on out, so it's going to be up to the drivers. See what they can make happen.
Yeah, Mark Arthur deployed that strategy under our one and only yellow so far here tonight, and that trapped everybody a lap down except for 2 drivers, himself and Noah Samples, and then Noah played the strategy where he went to come down for tires while Arthur stayed out to trap everybody continuous a lap down. As now Arthur's going to have to try and battle through the field as he comes up on the damaged car there. The number 80 of Tommy Gossett, as looks like he'll go to the inside. Tommy won't put up too much of a struggle there for Mark Arthur. So Arthur's going to, well, that's not even a battle for position as Tommy Gossett is down a lap. Arthur runs in the 4th spot. Tommy Gossett runs 9th, 1 lap down. So Victor Valley sitting in a pretty good spot if he can just catch Noah Samples. Noah's about a half straightaway right now ahead of the number 7 of Victor Valley, and he's got a half straightaway lead over Mark Arthur. Question is, though, we have seen it before. I think it's just a little bit too far out of Alex Huffman's reach. We've seen Alex Huffman deploy the strategy where we've heard him cut the motor off. I don't think he has quite the lead, as he only has about a 3.5-second lead over Noah Samples. As you see Noah coming off turn 4 as Alex is at the start-finish line, so he doesn't have the gap that he would like as we got the 20 to go marker this time by.
Now, cutting that motor off this time by is going to be bringing that Noah Samples up into his rear view mirror a little bit quicker than he's going to want, and still plenty of race left to hand time back if you start getting too crazy with it.
Yeah, at this point, Alex Huffman, his best friend is probably going to be a caution flag. He was, probably looking for one right now as you see him running that high lane around here. 19 laps to go this time by from Miami. The season finale, it came down tonight to Victor Valley, who runs right there in the 3rd spot. He's been having a good battle or good run all day. He's led 30 laps here from Miami and finds himself still sitting in 3rd. Tommy Gossett, though, sitting in the 8th place, was your championship leader coming into tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Tommy Gossett still sitting 1 lap down. He did make his pit stop, so he no longer has to come down pit road anymore today. He should have enough fuel on that number 80 to make it the rest of the way. Donald Bennett, not sure. It was Donald Bennett in that 31 who runs 10th up into the outside wall last time. Might have been, as the number 14 of Michael Whitaker made his way by, and now here comes that 36 of Mark Arthur. Arthur going to go right on by Donald Bennett. Donald Bennett is sitting in the 10th spot. He's on lap 23 of his pit cycle. As Alex Huffman's going to come down pit road here, he will turn the lead over to the 08 of Noah Samples. So now let's see if Samples is going to be able to hold on, or will Victor Valley be able to close the gap on him? It looks like that lead for Noah Samples is now under a 2-second gap. Is Noah saving, or is Victor Valley just that much faster than him right now?
Well, I'm watching, and it looks like he's pulling away from Mark Arthur. Mark, maybe just going through traffic slowed him up, but that gap has grown between him and Victor Valley as he's come through.
Yeah, just peeking quick over here at timing and scoring. It looks like a little over a 6-second gap to the leader for Mark Arthur, and about a 4.3-second gap till he would find the number 7 there, Victor Valley, who runs in the 2nd position. So it's really going to come down to these 3 drivers. They're the only 3 on the lead lap once again. As Noah Samples comes off turn number 4, he's going to get the 15 to go whispered in his ear. As he gets 15 to go, though, look at the gap. The gap is now down to about a 1.5 seconds between him and that 7 machine there at Victor Valley.
Victor Valley can get up there and make Noah work for it. It'll make things interesting, see if that's something that brings Mark Arthur back into the picture, or if something's just not quite sitting right for Mark. That gap looks like it's extended again to about 4.5 seconds at this point between him and Victor Valley.
It's going to be 14 laps to go. The season is winding down here. 14 laps to go here for the Lightning Cup Championship Series for their Xfinity Series. It's going to come down to where can Victor Valley finish this one off. We won't have the exact stats for you right after the race. We're going to have to revert back to our league admins after this one to tell us where all the chips fall. Right now Tommy Gossett does run in the 6th position. Yes, Alex Huffman did come down pit road in that number 3 machine. He does have fresher tires than Tommy Gossett, but he also sits 2.2 seconds behind the 80 of Gossett running 6th Huffman running in your 7th spot. So there's a little bit of a gap there. Yes, the fresher tires, you could play that into strategy and run those kind of scenarios. But right now, Gossett's 6th and Victor Valley is 2nd. That's not going to be a big enough gap for the 7 of Victor Valley to make up the 12-point deficit coming into tonight. He needs to go out there and he needs to win the race. He right now doesn't have the most laps led. So if he could get out there and lead 7 more laps here tonight, he'd also walk away with a little bit of a bonus point, I believe, for leading the most laps. And right now, he's starting to really pull back that 08 of Noah Samples.
Looking at timing and scoring, that time is dropping off down to about a second, 0.3. Like you say, he's pulling that time back, working his way back up there to the lead. Question is there enough laps for him to get there and collect enough laps to get those points for the most laps led?
Yeah, right now, it's 1.2 seconds, the gap from the leader to 2nd. And the guy who runs right behind Victor Valley, that number 999 there, that's Josh Patterson. Patterson finds himself running in the 4th spot, 1 lap down. So he's not in contention here to go after Victor Valley. Not sure if Victor's looking in the mirror worrying about Josh, or maybe Josh, his spotter, came over the comms and said, don't worry about us. We're just back here, run your race. Because the gap is now, since it got to about 1.3, has kind of steadied and trickled off there, and for the last 2 laps has just sat that far.
I'm sure we're not the only ones keeping track of that time. Could be that Noah Samples was keeping track, took a look, said, all right, that's close enough, and time to get going again.
There you can really see the gap. That black and yellow car, that was Noah Samples, and right there's the red car, Victor Valley, who runs in the 2nd spot. We got 9 to go, and Noah Samples starting to work through lap traffic now. Looks like the 40 of Josiah Millen, who's a couple laps down, he's going to get out of the way. He's not going to want to be in the middle of this race battle for the win here. Going to come off turn 4, and Noah Samples will see 8 laps to go here. Gap shrank just a little bit more. It was 1.1 when he came off turn 4. Maybe Noah Samples, though, running the high line, carried a little more momentum because now it's 1.2. That distance, that gap just keeps going back and forth, but we're going to get 7 to go this time by.
Victor Valley still pushing, trying to get up there to make something happen with Noah Samples. They're sitting on the same age tires, so that's not really playing a role. It's just going to be all about the line choice. Who's able to keep that momentum up all the way around this track?
Coming down the backstretch, the gap still 1.2 seconds here for Victor. Mark Arthur, you see him right there. He's sitting now 5.1 seconds behind Noah Samples, 4.1 seconds behind Victor Valley. So it looks like his night's going to end up being a 3rd place finish for him. It's still going to come down to these guys at the front. Noah Samples has really been trying to work over Matt Jackson here, trying to get around that lap car. Matt Jackson, though, really making it tough for Noah Samples. Matt Jackson does have the fresher tires, and he is running that middle to high lane that's where Noah Samples, we've seen him run, so that's forcing Noah to run low, and Victor Valley now under a second.
Just at about a second with 5 laps to go, slowly closing that gap. You know he's hoping to make it there. It's just a question of if there's enough laps for him to close that distance or if it's going to come to that checker before he can get there.
5 to go. Noah Samples going to work off the corner. He's going to see the flagman. He's going to display 4 laps to go this time by. 4 more circuits around Homestead, Miami for Noah Samples. Can he hang on? Now the gap is 0.8 of a second back to Victor Valley. 0.7 now as they work through the corner. Samples to the bottom of the track once again, trying to get around Matt Jackson, not able to clear him as, Samples goes up the track. Let's see, where does Victor Valley fall into play this time by? Lost a little ground there, back up to .8. Victor Valley down there running the bottom of the track. We've seen Victor run down there pretty much the whole race.
Here he comes, getting real close this time by. Dropping that time down to about 0.3 seconds now between him and Noah Samples.
It's going to come down to the last lap because 2 laps to go here from Homestead, Miami. 2 laps to go and 2 drivers battling it out. Noah Samples out front, Victor Valley there. You see them both in the picture now. Valley down on the bottom there on the white line. He's been running there all night. Now it's .1. .1 back. That's 3 car lengths between your 2 leaders as they work into turns 3 and 4. White flag in the air here for Noah Samples. Victor Valley knows exactly what he has to do, and he dives it to the bottom. Can he come up in front? Not able to pull the slider just yet. There it is. He might have enough room to come up in front of Noah Samples. Tommy Gossett into the outside wall. He holds it there. The leaders cross over him. They're going to go side by side into turns 3 and 4 here. Who's going to have it? Victor Valley going to drive it in deep. He's going to slide up. Here comes Noah Samples. He's going to go to cross it over. Doesn't look like the grip is quite there for Noah Samples. Victor Valley going to win the season finale here from Homestead, Miami. Noah Samples going to have to come home second. Mark Arthur going to cross the line, finishing in the 3rd position. What a race. What a race we just saw. Looks like Alex Huffman going to come home 4th. Michael Whitaker finishing out and rounding out the top 5 here from Homestead. So Victor Valley going to grab the win here in the season finale for the Lightning Cup Championship. Wow, Danny, what a run Victor Valley just put on to win this one.
Came right down to the wire with those guys coming out of 3 and 4. What a battle.
What a battle it was. As you see Alex Huffman, and there goes Victor Valley doing a little bit of celebrations on the front stretch here from Homestead. I mean, what more can you ask for? The man started up at the front. He was slotted to start in the 3rd position. Led 31 laps here tonight, and he definitely led the one that counted. He led the final lap here at Homestead. We're going to have to step away for just a moment. We're going to let the camera still play on Victor Valley, but we're going to get to talking here with race control and the admins and see where all the chips fall. Is Victor Valley going to walk away your champion, or will it be the 80 of Tommy Gossett who finished in your 6th spot? Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want to hear how this championship played out here from Miami. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You just watched 115 laps here for the season finale for the Lightning Cup Championship Series. Victor Valley won the race, but I'm getting some word through the comms here that Victor Valley may win the race, but Tommy Gossett's going to be crowned the champion here. But before we get to either of those drivers, I believe we have another driver up here to talk with a little bit. Mark Arthur, I believe Danny caught up with you.
I did. I caught up with the 36 of Mark Arthur. Mark, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, I guess.
Pit strategy. We were watching you out there tonight, and you had something going. That caution came out. Did you think about changing things up, or just decide, you know what, I've made my decision, I'm sticking with it?
Yeah, I think I had that caution that came out. I mean, I was pretty fast, and they were almost going to work out to where I was going to get new tires. I mean, I only had like 8 laps on that. I only had 8 laps on that last caution when they all pit, so they would have planed out pretty quick with me. And that last pit stop, they would have came in quick. I would have went in late again and had the better tires at the end, but didn't pan out. I mean, that's what happens when you play pit strategies like that. It's either going to win you or lose you. You live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing. But yeah. There, when that caution came out, I didn't have any choice but to trap all those guys a lap down. I mean, that was the best scenario. I thought, to trap them a lap down, and at least I would finish, top 3 or 4 if I could trap them all down. If they had not came down when I came down, I might have got back up there and been able to race with them.
Well, we saw you start 13th, make your way up to first, and in fact lead 36 laps tonight before finishing 3rd. Is this one of your tracks that you really like to run, or how are you feeling about it?
I've actually only raced this track probably 3 or 4 times. It is a tire-saving track, so it kind of plays into my favor. I mean, I was pretty good on a longer run. I was even catching them there at the end. I think when I came out, I had like 6 seconds to the lead to the leader, and I think I ended at like 2.5. But I was catching them. I just didn't have enough laps, and there we was right at the end of a fuel run anyway. But I don't know. I kind of like these kind of tracks where you have to really save tires to be fast on the longer run.
Well, it was an exciting race to watch for sure. Anyone you need to say thank you to? Anyone helps you get that car out there on track?
Yeah, I like the Dr. Squatch for being on the car this year. If anybody's ever tried that soap, it's like, I'll say it again. I said it last week. It's the best soap I've ever tried in my life. Not just saying that. You can use code SESSOR15 on your first order for 15% off. I like to thank the league for putting on these things. And dang, man, I think every race I've finished 3rd. So I don't know. I got to crack in the top 2 or win one eventually. But and thank you guys for putting on the broadcast always.
Well, thank you for getting out there on track and putting on a show for us tonight. Roger, looks like you caught up with a couple of our championship contenders.
Yeah, it looks like, though, before we get to our championship contenders here, we don't have the 08 and Noah Samples. He did have a good showing here tonight. He did finish in your 2nd spot, but I did catch up with one of the guys out here, the man who won the race. He put on one heck of an exciting show. Victor Valley, I mean, you did everything you needed to do. You ran up front. You qualified up front. You won the race. Just seems like you're going to come up a couple points short here from a championship.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like Bill Elliott did back in '92 when Alan Kawicki pipped him by just a little bit there for the Winston Cup Championship back then. But gosh, finally won one of these things. I'm actually really happy about that. I definitely did make it interesting for myself there. Slid through my box on the final stop, and I thought that was it. And I was just getting talked through by a couple of my buddies there down in the TeamSpeak channel. Matt and Tommy just telling me, hey, you got the faster car than Noah. You'll get him. And luckily enough for him, or for me, he ran out of fuel off of 4, and I just was able to just get right by him there.
Yeah, so the strategy definitely going in your way there for the the race conditions, fuel strategy. How about that timely caution though? It looked like Mark Arthur at one point had the entire field just covered. He had lapped everybody. Only was him and Noah Samples on the lead lap, and that timely caution really saved you because you were in the lucky dog spot here tonight. You got your wave around. You were able to come down, put 4 fresh tires on. How nerve-wracking was it when that caution came out, when you looked up and realized, oh, I'm a lap down?
Well, what's good is actually I was watching the leaderboard and I was like, okay, I got to get by, this guy first. I think it was, can't remember who it was. I think it was Michael, or one of the Michaels, of course. They had come down and then the caution came out right after the fact. And I said right there, I said, awesome, I got the lucky dog. I could still win this thing. And, I got to hand it to Mark. He was the class of the field this race, and I think he deserved to win a lot more than I did, especially with his strategy. I knew exactly what he was going to do was go 30, 60, 90, and then making him one less stop than us. But unfortunately for him, and fortunately for this new Jonathan Bird's Camaro, panned out in our favor, so can't say enough about that.
Yeah, what a heck of a show you had there, Victor. But, hey, congratulations on winning your first race here with the Lightning Cup Championship. It couldn't have come in any more of a, I want to say, a better fashion. One heck of a showing here. You led 31 laps. You won the race. Unfortunately, you're going to finish second in the point standings, though. But, hey, who helped you out this year, run so well?
Well, I got to thank everybody that I was teammates with this year at one point or another. Of course, Tommy Gossett, of course, wins the championship. Couldn't think of a better person to finish second in points, too. Of course, Alex Huffman, he helped out a lot for me. Was watching his replay, and that's how I got so fast for qualifying, got P3, and then obviously Tommy decided to go to the back to make it interesting for the championship. And I got to thank, of course, Doug Carlson, of course, putting all of this on. Him and Matt Jackson, of course, they've been great. Got to thank Nathan Stewart. He was on our team earlier in the year and decided to part ways with us halfway through the year, but got to thank him for all his efforts early on in the year, helped this thing get off the ground. And I got to thank everyone for showing up, really. I mean, if it wasn't for everybody else that was showing up to these races, and this wouldn't be the Lightning Cup without everybody tuning in and racing with us.
Well, there it is. Victor Valley putting the number 7 here in victory lane for the final race of the season. But the man who has worked probably, the hardest on track out here this year, the number 80 of Tommy Gossett. Tommy, you're the champ.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say. It's crazy.
Well, my friend, just tell us about tonight to start with. It didn't seem like it was really going to go your way at all here because you got a tore-up number 80 Toyota Camry out here.
Yeah, I had to start in the back because in the last pit stop at Chicagoland, no one else caught it, and I only thought it was fair. I went through the 6 out of the allotted 5 boxes, so I gave myself an EOL and went to the back, even though I got pole and it was a tough choice to do. And I was just confident enough myself I could bow back through there. I got up to running with Victor at one point. We just had a little bit of contact. I was too close down on his quarter panel and just kind of sucked him up into me. I was all fine. I was able to come down pit road, get my damage fixed, and I was fighting back up there, and then I just get ran over from behind by the 14, I think. And at that point, I was seeing red, but I realized I had more to run for than just this race. I realized that if I stuck with it and I was able to finish 7th or better, I'd win the championship. So I just it was just a battle all night. I was really confident going into here. Homestead's one of my favorite tracks. I enjoy these tracks that are tight off the corners, and I just keep the car hung down there and get better runs off. So I was confident coming in tonight, but didn't go my way in one aspect, but went my way in the better aspect.
Yeah, tonight not being the way you really wanted it to. But tell us about halfway through the season when we picked up the Lightning Cup Championship over here. You were out there running the number 80. I believe it was a Chevy Camaro. What happened with the manufacturer switch halfway through the season?
Talladega, when I pulled the block on, who was it? Zach Nichols. When I pulled the block on Zach Nichols, I wasn't even planning on running a full season because I was away for the first 4 races. So I only came with a certain number of chassis for this year, and I didn't think I'd be able to run after that. And after I got put in the wall, Toyota was kind enough to step in and say, here's your chassis, just go win us a championship.
So, yeah, you finished the rest of the season with that Toyota, and it was pretty nice to you. Danny, this gentleman out here battled week in and week out. I mean, what do you have for Tommy Gossett?
Tommy, you put on a show for us each and every week came out. what is it that keeps you going each week, that keeps you wanting to come out on track and have these races with everybody?
I love racing. Racing is my life. I was born and raised in racing. I used to race these like little quarter midget dirt go-kart things, but I had a pretty bad accident back when I was 8 years old, I think it was, and I already have a growth condition where I grew way too fast and my bones are kind of brittle, and when I hit the wall, I can't remember exactly what it did to my back. It didn't fracture it or anything. But the doctor said if I get into another crash like that, I may not walk. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stop. So this is my outlet of showing how I race and how well I race and trying to get better and trying to improve. So this is how I let it go and have fun.
Well, it looks like it's definitely working for you this season, coming out on top.
Yeah, I really, like I said, I didn't think I was even running the full championship season, let alone coming here and actually winning it. So it's just a great day.
Who else helped you keep that car on track? I know you're talking about Toyota coming in and picking you up here towards the end of the season. Who else keeps you running out here?
First of all, I got to thank God for being able to put me in this position in life to be able to afford all the equipment that I have. First off, I want to thank Carly Nagel Photography. I want to thank Mane and Tail, Boss Hoss, and Cowboy Magic. And I also want to thank my team, Sims 2 Series, my competitive team. I want to thank the team owner and for all they do for me. And I also want to thank my teammates in league, Victor Valee, Alex Huffman, Matt Jackson, Justin Winters. I'm sure I'm forgetting one, and he's going to yell at me later. But I just want to thank all of them.
Well, congratulations.
And I also want to thank y'all for putting on these broadcasts. We thoroughly enjoyed having you here this year.
Well, it's been a good time for us for sure. Congratulations bringing that number 80 car home first in the championship standings. Good luck coming into next season. We look forward to seeing you out on track again.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a great one.
Hey, you too. Well, there we heard from our championship winner, Tommy Gossett, in the number 80 car, finishing things up strong in the Lightning Cup this season. Victor Valley bringing it home second, putting on a good race here tonight.
Yeah, Victor Valley walks away as the winner here for the finale here at Miami Homestead, but Tommy Gossett getting a little bit of the upper hand as he finishes first in the championship. Danny, it's that time where we sign off the air for the last time here. Broadcasting the Lightning Cup Championship, we picked them up halfway through the season, and they put on one heck of a show week in and week out. You saw one caution here tonight, and that seemed to be almost every race, maybe one caution. Handful of them went caution-free, so a bunch of good drivers out here putting on good shows every Tuesday night.
Definitely a great group of guys running clean races. It's always nice to see.
Well, once again, though, congratulations to Tommy Gossett as the champion here for the Lightning Cup Championship. Well, till next time that we catch all you race fans out there, we're signing off for the last time. You just watched the Lightning Cup Championship here on MaxSpeedTV. We got to thank Danny Valenzuela, the Lightning Cup Championship Series, and everybody here at MaxSpeedTV. But till we till we come live next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one.